Growing up, I used to collect wax pack bubblegum cards of my favorite movie and television shows, but there were a lot of shows on TV and in the theaters that they never made wax pack trading cards of, and that's kind of a bummer. So I was thinking, what are some of my favorite movies that I wish got wax packs and trading cards, but never did? And I thought, you know what? I'm a pretty good designer. I could probably make some of these myself and produce them so authentically that you might not be able to tell the difference. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take 4 different wax packs. 2 of them are real wax packs that you would have got if you grew up in the 70s or 80s. The other 2 are fake. They are fan-made creations that I put together myself, and it's up to you to determine which ones are real and which ones are fake. So now it's time to test your knowledge on another episode of Real or Fake Pack Breaks. Okay, here we go with another real or fake wax break, and today we have some 70s and 80s sci-fi classic. These are all movies that I absolutely love growing up. I still love them today. Honestly, you know, 4 of my favorites, and for different reasons. Obviously, there was a slew of sci-fi, fantasy, you know, motion pictures and television shows and things that came out post Star Wars, and these are some of my particular favorites. So the idea behind this is 2 of these packs are real, 2 of them are fake. We're going to open them in pairs and we're going to compare them, and you have to figure out which one is real, which one is a fan creation that I created to fill in the gaps of some of the cards that we didn't get as kids growing up with some of these wax packs. Now, if you are a wax pack collector, you may already know which packs they made and which packs they didn't, so this one might not be a surprise to you, but hopefully you'll still enjoy the video because you'll get to see kind of like any wax break, any pack break, ripping out packs, seeing what's in them, you know, what did we get, whatever, and then obviously the one that you know that they didn't make, and you get to kind of see what that looks like. But for the average person, you might not know which packs they made and which packs they didn't, and for you, hopefully it's a surprise. The idea behind this is that I put so much effort into making these authentic that it's really hard to tell the difference. So today, first, we're gonna start. So we got Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, The Black Hole, and The Last Starfighter. We're gonna start with Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers first. Both of these are based on serials that my dad grew up watching. So when these movies came out, I remember my dad complaining because it wasn't much like the original. Kind of like today when they make the remakes of stuff that I was a kid. A lot of times it doesn't land. Maybe my kids like it, but I'm like, it's just not the original. So same thing, you know, it's all cyclical. But so we've got 2 packs. The way we do these is we open them in order of release. So Buck Rogers came out first. Buck Rogers came out in 1979, Flash Gordon in 1980. So first we're gonna open the Buck Rogers packs here. So here we go. Okay, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century by Topps. Again, these are from 1979. 10 photo cards, 1 sticker, 1 stick of bubble gum. Now, if you're not familiar with Buck Rogers, again, it was based on an old serial, and I think they both starred Buster Crabbe. I think they both had the same character portraying these pulp, and they're all based on pulp characters. But again, this was remade with Gil Gerard, and you know, totally 70s kind of cheesy action fun. Now, some people ask, is this a TV show or a movie? They did make a TV show, but I think the idea was they were producing a TV show, and because of the, I think they upped the budget a little bit for the pilot, and then they cut the 2 pilot episodes together and then released it in the theaters. And I actually saw this in the theater, in the drive-in, with it was a doubles feature with Buck Rogers and Laser Blast, which is like one of the worst movies ever. Another cult, just really bad movies. But anyway, maybe Laser Blast, I will make a pack of that. But for now, let's open this pack of Buck Rogers cards from 1980 Topps. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we got a stick of bubble gum. Put that aside. Yeah, and of course you always get sort of that bubble gum residue on here, but let's see what we got. All right, so first off, we got a sticker. We got good old Buck Rogers there, Gil Gerard. pretty awesome sticker. I like the design of this. Very cool. And yeah, these cards are pretty cool. I like the layout. I like the little lightning bolts going across with we've got the different characters here. Draconian Fortress. Draconian Fortress. And then we've got the back of Buck Rogers. So, very cool. And then, look at this. Heavy loss for Wilma. Wilma Daring, played by Erin Gray, who you might also remember from Silver Spoons if you are if you grew up in the 80s. Very cool. And there again is Wilma Daring to the rescue. Let's see. We got Killer Kane and Ardella's defeat, and that's kind of where she ended up befriending Buck Rogers and kind of betrayed the Draconians and her. I think was her father the Emperor, I think. And then sorry about that, guys. Got Buck Rogers. These helmets were so cheesy back then, but I loved it. I loved it. Sorry about that, guys. And we've got some more battle. The battle rages. We've got I forgot what they call it. I forgot what the good guys faction was called, but that was the Starfighter, and then the Draconian ships. And I had a lot of these toys too as a kid. They were put out by Mego. I had Twiki, which I think is sort of I think that one's kind of highly collectible, but I had a lot of those toys, and I remember having Tiger Man. Let's see, we get a Tiger Man card. We do get a Twiki, big. Remember that from Buck Rogers. Twiggy and Dr. Thalopoulos. Twiki's tonic. And we got Visions of Ardala. So he's definitely thinking about the princess, who, if you grew up then, you probably were too, if you're like me. All right, so Run for Cover. I don't really know I think this is when the kind of mutant people attacked, when he first returned to Earth after it basically being destroyed, and there's sort of the outlines, and then there's the actual, all the futuristic stuff in the city, everything else I was kind of chaos, and then a delirious spaceman. So he kind of, I guess that's when he wakes up. So there you go. There is the Buck Rogers and the 25th century. Is it? I think that's what it's called. In the 25th century. And right now the theme song is coming back to me. Speaking of theme songs, here's one with an awesome theme song by Queen, Flash Gordon. Another movie I absolutely loved. Collected these cards as a kid. Anything that I could get Flash Gordon, and loved this movie. Watched it over and over again on cable, and I'm sure we had it recorded or whatever. But this is Flash Gordon 1980s tops. We've got movie photo cards, and a one stick of bubble gum. And so let's go ahead and open up this pack of Flash Gordon. And we've got some old crusty old bubble gum, and some of the stuff is just so nasty. All right, so here we go. Let's see. Voltan and the Hawkman. Gordon's alive. We've got, let's see, Voltan, the menacing leader of the Hawkmen. Let's see, let's flip these around and see what we got here. We've got a sticker. We got Flash Gordon on that cycle. Pretty cool sticker. I love this design. They kind of went with that screen that Ming the Merciless was viewing everything through. Very cool. That's just awesome. And the one thing I liked about this movie is it's so colorful. Like all unlike, and if I'm comparing this to Star Wars, obviously Star Wars wins hands down, but it is, a lot of these are seen as rip-offs, but there was a lot different. It was more campy. It was just fun, and lots of color from even the blood that all the aliens bleed and stuff was very colorful. Speaking of, there is Prince. What was his name? I know. I'm drawing a blank. I forgot his name. Maybe it says on here. Prince Baron. Yes. From played by Timothy Dalton, who would eventually play Bond in 2 Bond films. Battle to the death, and that was a really cool scene where they're fighting on this thing, and all of a sudden spikes come out and all this stuff. Very cool. Oh, we got Ming the Merciless. This looks like it's probably a rookie card for Ming. What we got? Yeah, Ming the Merciless. very cool. Ming's Final Fate, and this is where Flash Gordon is about to strike Ming down. Very awesome scene towards the climax of the movie. Prisoners of Earth. So this is when they first arrive on Mongo. We've got Dr. Zarkov, Dale Arden, and Flash Gordon there, and then we've got Prince Baron, and what was her name? What was the princess's name? Is that Ardala? Aurora. I should remember that. That's the name of the Sleeping Beauty, actually. So Prince Aurora, and we've got a Dale Arden card ready for action. I don't even remember this scene. Was that? It must have been in the movie. And then we've got Agents of Evil, Kaleidos on board. I love Kaleidos. He was cool. I don't think he was in the original serials. I think he was created for this, but very welcome addition. I love that character. Very cool. They needed some kind of Darth Vader type character, I'm sure. Although the one thing they didn't have little robots. Most films that came after Star Wars, they were mandatory that you got to put a cute robot in there or something. And then we've got Flash Gordon himself, Sam Jones. Very cool. Love this. And of course, unfortunately, we get some wax residue on there. But there you go. There are the Flash Gordon cards and the Buck Rogers card. Which one's real, which one's fake? We'll get to that in a minute, but let's open our next set of cards. The Black Hole and the Last Starfighter. The Black Hole came out in 1979 and the Last Starfighter 1988. So we're going to open the Black Hole first. We'll put Last Starfighter aside. First we're going to open this, the Black Hole. This is a movie I love. I watched over and over again. I still love it today. I think it's one of Neil deGrasse Tyson's least favorite movies because of the science, and obviously the science in the black hole in this movie is complete garbage, but I still love this film for a number of reasons. It's just got a kind of a dark feel to it, much darker than Star Wars. It's usually said it's like one of the biggest Star Wars ripoffs. But it's got some different things to it. It does have the cute robots and sort of the Darth Vader-esque character and stuff like that, and Maximilian, even though he's a robot. But I absolutely love Black Hole. Everything down to this logo. I love how the logo kind of spins out. The other one spins out a little more from the movie poster, but we've got the Cygnus approaching the Black Hole. And the one cool thing about this is, I think it was one of the last movies that had like an overture. Like when you go into the theater, as you're walking in, it's got this suite of music playing. I think by John Barry, who also composed a lot of the James Bond scores. And I really love the music for it. It's kind of eerie. This movie just can kind of get dark and everything, but it does have some fun, and the robots add some levity to it. So let's open this is from Topps 1979, the Black Hole. Unfortunately, we get some kind of residue there on this card. We've got a nasty stick of bubble gum there. All right, let's see if we can clean that up as much as we can. All right, so the Warriors of Space. So these are, I forgot what they call these guys. That's you got just a puzzle piece there. So I don't know, but I also had a lot of these black hole characters. I thought I had Old Bob, who's really rare, but it might have been Vincent. It might be one of those Mandela effects, but I mean the Old Bob is very highly collectible because it was very rare. So, but I had a lot of these action figures as a kid. I don't know that they made too many like sets or ships or anything for them, but they may have made like the little Palomino thing. But anyways, Warriors of Space from the Black Hole, Heroes at Bay. I guess they're all puzzle pieces. I don't know if any of them really have. Let me see. Do any of them have any kind of? Yeah, there's some that have. Just to see what this looks like here, a powerful laser blast. And these are kind of similar to the Star Wars cards with the kind of the stars and everything, the first series Star Wars cards. So here we go. The Black Hole story summary, the Cygnus in a maze of technology, and Dr. Reinhardt delights in demonstrating the ship's capabilities. All right, powerful laser blast. And I don't remember what these guys were called. but there was I remember Star was the black one. They had the red ones, and then the one black one was kind of the commander. And then we've got Vincent, or did I already looked at that, right? Yeah, yes, okay. Destruction of the Palomino, so that's when their ship blows up. I think after they were kind of betrayed by one of their members. I won't say which one, because that's kind of a spoiler. And here's kind of an action scene, the deadly plunge. Holland to the rescue. Very cool. Oh, we got a sticker. Let's see this. That's pretty cool. Oh, we got the humanoids. Those always freak me out when they pull the mask off. Those were very cool. I think they made toys. I think I had a toy of that guy. The search begins. Oh, here's a really cool shot of Maximilian as the Cygnus is. Yeah, I got the Cygnus and the Palomino confused. Oh, maybe I didn't. Anyway, Cygnus is the big ship, but that's after that starts to fall apart. Dangerous trek, and we've got another BioCard story summary. The crew spaceship of the Palomino, Captain Dan Holland, Dr. Alan Durant, Kate McCree, Charles Pfizer, and Harry Booth. And Reinhardt's Folly. Okay, so there we go. There is our first set, The Black Hole from 1979. Still something I will watch from time to time, The Black Hole. Next up, The Last Starfighter. This is a great movie. Notably one of the first movies to ever really use computer-generated graphics. Tron used CGI effects, but it took place in a video game. This is, I think, one of the first ones that I actually tried to make something that wasn't like a video game with CGI. And admittedly, it's kind of dated when you watch it now, and it's sort of unfortunate because it does take me out of the movie a little bit. I try not to let it, but other than that, and I'm not a big fan of going back and changing things, but I would be curious to just watch one with either if somebody went back and made practical effects or with modern CGI, just to see what it looks like. I know it's kind of blasphemous in a lot of ways, but it does kind of take you out of the film. But it's such a great film. The whole idea of Alex Rogan being recruited by playing a standalone arcade machine as a test to become a starfighter. Awesome. So this produced by Topps back in 1984? Yeah, 1984. The Last Starfighter. All right. Of course we get some wax residue there. Oh, we got some nasty gum again. Ugh. All right. Let's see. What we got? Hold on a second. I'll try to pull these apart. I think they're stuck. Okay, there we go. Okay, first off, we got a sticker, a very cool sticker of Alex Rogan as he's kind of looking towards the stars. Just that iconic look. Very cool to have a sticker of that. So we've got Alex breaks the record. So this is where Alex breaks the record on the video game, and he's recruited by what is the Federation? I forgot what it's called. Maybe it says here. Let's see if does it say. I know Centauri was the guy that picked him up, but I forgot what the good guys were called. I know the bad guys were the Codon Armada. But anyway, so this is where Alex breaks the record on the video game, sending a signal to Centauri, who comes and takes him away, and he becomes a starfighter, which is really awesome. Krill's final command. Should I give it away? I mean, what do we do now? And then he says, we die. I love it. Zur attack. So this is the villain Zur. Kind of not as formidable as like a Darth Vader or whatever. He's kind of silly looking in some ways, but he's got that really cool scepter. But yeah, still, I love this movie. All right, so we've got Centauri's proposition. So this is when Centauri first makes himself known to Alex, and then takes Alex off in his like space age flying car up to outer space. And this is the new recruit. So this is where Alex lands on the space station and meets all these crazy aliens. I think he's like one of the only humans there, or he definitely is one of the only humans there. That's a really cool shot. Alex retaliates, and this is when he's got the gun star, the name of the ship, and firing on the Kodan Armada, and very cool. Oh, and of course Grig. I love this character. So this is kind of this guy also reminds me of Louis Gossett from Enemy Mine. Kind of a similar aesthetic to the alien makeup and everything, but very cool. Grig at your service. And adventure awaits. So we've got Alex and what's his girlfriend's name again? Maggie. Alex and Maggie, who is I forgot her name. Catherine, I forgot, but she's also in Night of the Comet, which is an excellent movie. Very cool. So here we go. There is our last Starfighter trading cards. Topps, and then Topps also put out the black hole cards. But which one of these, let's get rid of all this nasty gum. Which one of these is fake and which one of these is real? If you didn't guess, the real one is the black hole. Unfortunately, they never made Last Starfighter trading cards. I don't think they ever made any toys or anything. So some movies, even though they were popular back then, they never got, and I don't know if this was how successful this movie was, I just remember really liking it, but even Black Hole wasn't that successful, at least from my memory, but they did have toys and things like that. So some movies got memorabilia and stuff, some didn't. Unfortunately, Last Starfighter did not get a trading card set, but that's why I created these packs, because we want to fill in some of those missing those cards we always wish they had. And I really, when I'm designing these, I really look at what would these cards have looked like if they were produced back then. So there we go. There is our Last Starfighter fan-made cards. These are available on my website. They're not full sets, so if you buy one, you're always going to get the same cards and everything. But really cool. I really enjoyed designing these. Of course, the black hole they did make, and if you can buy vintage packs of these. Just search some out online the same way I did. But also love this movie. So there you go. Now, as far as our other packs, we've got Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon. Where is the? We gotta get rid of all this gum. So Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon. Which one is the real pack? Buck Rogers. So Buck Rogers, Topps actually produced these back in 1979, I believe. I think I said. Yeah. So these are real trading cards that came out. I never had any of these as a kid. I don't know why, because I definitely liked this movie, but I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't have these particular trading cards. I had a lot. So Flash Gordon are my fan art set. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that they would make Buck Rogers and not Flash Gordon. But again, the same thing. They had Buck Rogers toys, didn't have Flash Gordon toys. So somebody was sleeping on that, because I would have loved some Flash Gordon action figures. They did make Flash Gordon action figures, but they weren't from the movie. They were from the animated series. When I say that, I did have Flash Gordon action figures, because I had some of those, but they weren't based on this here. So anyway, again, really, I try to make these as authentic as possible, right down to using some of the graphic design elements that you would have seen in the screen, the logos, same thing with the backs, the description, all that stuff. And again, this is what you would get if you get a pack. You can order them from my website. I don't make full sets. These are just fun fan art things and to share with people. But they do take considerable amount of time to make. So, but I am making a limited amount of these available on my website if you want to check those out. The one thing I will mention is that the bubble gum, this nasty bubble gum, when I pack the ones for the wax breaks, I put old sticks of bubble gum in here to kind of make it so it's not so obvious, because if I put a brand new stick of bubble gum in here and you open it up, it's going to be a dead giveaway that this was the fake one. So I put old sticks of bubble gum in there. But when you order a pack of these, You're not going to get an old stick of bubble gum. You'll get a nice fresh bubble gum. I still probably wouldn't eat it because they're kind of nasty anyway. But you won't get that crusty old stick of bubble gum unless you sit on it for, unless you don't open it and you sit on it for 30 years, then it will probably end up looking like that. The other thing is the ones you get off the store, they don't say Tops. They'll say something like Pops or something like that. So, but again, I just did that for this particular one to throw you off. But other than that, they are pretty much what you see here, and very authentic and very true to what you would have got if you were to order, if they would have made Flash Gordon cards or Last Starfighter cards back in the day. So, did I trick you? Did I throw you off? Did you know which ones were real, which ones were fake? Are you a fan of vintage packs and you're like, yeah, I have all of the real ones, I know which ones they make? Then maybe you want to pick up some of these fan-made ones. Again, available on my website. But there you go. There is another real or fake wax break. And until next time, you tell me, is it real or is it fake?